Hi, Todd Davidson. Thanks for tuning into my YouTube channel, Moving to the Northwest. I'm in mortgage and I specialize in helping people move state to state. So if you're looking to move to Oregon, Washington, or Arizona and buy a home, reach out to me. We'd love to help you move to these states and buy a home. Today, I'm joined by Josu with All-in-One Moving. There's a lot of myths and misconceptions and a lot of press about bad moves. So Josu today is joining us to help talk a little bit about what you should look for when hiring movers and ways to cut costs. And Josu, welcome and thanks for joining. Just kind of wanted to touch base with you and find out more about what you do, and then what people can look for when they're hiring a mover to ensure that they have a quality and well-priced experience. So tell us a little bit about you and your business.
Appreciate it. My name's Josu. I'm the owner of All-in-One Moving out of Boise, Idaho. I've been a mover coming up on 12 years in August, and I've seen a lot through this business. There's a lot of good, a lot of bad moving companies out there. I've dealt with both of them. I've dealt with brokers. I've dealt with the horror stories, and I'd love to give you guys opportunity to educate you guys and help you guys pick a good and honest mover at a fair price. Every mover with the federal government has to be licensed and insured. We are fully licensed and insured. We do have a DOT number, 3491735, and our motor carrier number is 1225354. Everything with a legal mover is accessible by the DOT federal website. It's safer. DOT safer. It's, if you type it on Google, you can pull it up. You can pull up people's numbers online. It'll state their insurance. If they do have insurance, to be a mover, you do need cargo insurance, legal liability, and need to have a valid number. And they can deactivate you if you have complaints, if you have insurance issues, anything like that. That is what I would look at. As for the broker, cheaper is not always better. If you're looking for a move, I've had people that approach me that they can get a move from California to Portland for $2,000. And I always let them know, look, ask for their information, their legal authority information, insurance information, and run it through online. Because I have seen horror stories of people getting a move for $2,000 and the guy in a pickup pulls up in a trailer, and either A, they don't see their stuff again, or B, the guy in the pickup's gonna try to strong arm them for another 10 grand on top of that. But I would also look at their history on reviews on Google, Yelp, everywhere else there is, because as for me, I am All-in-One Moving, but there are other All-in-One Movings across the country. There's 2 or 3 other ones that have bad reputations. Look and make sure that they are based in the state that they are in. You can also look at the Secretary of State in the state that they are in and look at the reviews on there as well. We are licensed to move in all 50 states, and we are not brokers or associated with any brokers.
Josu, a quick question. I mean, because it does seem like a lot of times the issues people have are with brokers. What is the difference between what you do and what a broker does?
A lot of people don't realize what a broker is. A broker, in the eyes of the law, is somebody without a truck. So there's a mover. A licensed mover owns or leases equipment and runs with equipment. A broker, there are legal brokers out there. On the DOT site, you can also find them. All a broker is a middleman. So if you need to move from Los Angeles to Portland, you go online and you type in movers, and a lot of the paid advertisements up on top are brokers where the price is way too good to be true. And if you do look up their information, a lot of them are revoked. They've taken people for granted. Whereas a mover, we own the equipment, we've got crews, and all a broker does, and I've had brokers approach me. I just had one yesterday from Florida that would love to work with me, and I don't do that. But they try to find a another man to do the work, they pay him less, and then they take a cut of the pie, and then you never see him again.
Okay, well that I guess that makes sense. It's basically you own the whole process. And a broker basically finds someone online and then tries to find the cheapest person to move them. And it could be someone with a truck, or I mean, they're maybe sometimes a little less concerned about quality. You don't really know the quality of the person that they're hiring to do it.
Correct. And half the time, the experiences that I've had with people, they show up and they take a deposit. One big red flag with a broker is when you do find somebody online for $2,000 to move you from LA to Portland, they'll ask you for a non-refundable deposit, and they do not want a credit card. They want it on a checking account. They want your checking account information, your routing number, because I've seen this happen many a times. Once you put your checking account information in, you never get that money back. You go to the bank and you file a complaint, the bank won't do anything for you because there's no recourse. With a credit card, you can get recourse, but they become very savvy to know how to do things. And usually it's a $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 deposit. And then I end up getting a phone call and they show me the documents and, look up the information. And by that time, it's way too late for them to get any money back or, get them help.
Okay, well that's a good tip then for people to be aware of. How they pay a deductible or any money up front. I'd be leery of that. So, um, you know, can you, do you have any stories? Any bad? People have come to you and said, "Hey, I just had this happen." I mean, any stories to share with us?
I do. I got one gentleman in particular, and I still talk to him to this day. I moved him to Boise, and super nice guy. He called me. He was halfway crying. You could tell it was, $2,500 that he lost, and he was begging me. He had to be out of his apartment in LA, and explained to me what went on. Showed me the paperwork, and they came in. They pulled up in a white truck, a small truck, and they gave him, I believe, 15 feet of space. And they said, no, after the 15 feet, the rest of the truck would be, I think, what, 10 or 15 grand, or it was an outrageous amount of money. And he told him, no, I'm not doing it. I do not want to, I don't trust you guys after this. And, he tried to dispute it with his bank. They said there's not much to do. He went to the federal government, not much they can do, because by that time, the broker had their authority revoked for the stuff that they've done. So I ended up bringing them up, and it wasn't, a lot of stuff, but it was more than the 15 feet. And, I use that story as an education, experience for a lot of people. And I have had other people that have called me, and if I can't do the job, I'll be straight up with you. And there's a couple other methods that are very straightforward. It doesn't have to be a mover. I would look at UPAC or Estes Sure Move, their trailers or pods. They're also very reputable. And then for labor, there are good, labor resources out there that'll help you out for a good price that are honest, reputable laborers. I know movers have a bad persona because of all the stuff that goes around, but there are very good movers, just like any profession out there.
Yeah, you know what? That's those are good tips, and that was one of my other questions. I mean, what are your suggestions for people to, maybe more on a budget to save money? And you rattle off a couple. Are there any more that you would suggest?
I would. If you want your belongings, if you want to be in possession of them at all times, I would recommend using U-Haul or Penske or Budget, any one of them, because a lot of moves are do-it-yourself moves. If you do need any labor, I've got a lot of good connections that, are good movers or good laborers that you get a good, you'll get a good experience. But there is a lot of, there are a lot of people that would go through moving help that would get the labor off of there and, save themselves money. Pods, like I said, or U-boxes through U-Haul is another one where they bring the container out to you, they drop it off for you, you load it up, and then they pick it up. They're all reputable. Those are some methods that I would use that are, you know, reputable, honest people, you know, honest companies. But if you're ever in doubt, I would look on the DOT site and see who you're talking to, because by law, movers and brokers, legit brokers, are supposed to give out their legal information, their motor carrier, their DOT numbers to anybody that requests that. And if they are hesitant on giving you that information, then there's a big red flag.
Yeah, it sounds like it. And we'll include links in the body of this video for people to look up the DOT, link to Josu's site so you guys can all find it and, educate yourselves and, reach out to Josu if you're interested. A few other questions. Again, brokers, there does seem to be, I'm sure there's some good ones out there, but there does seem to be some not so good ones. How does someone, when they're looking to, online, how do they tell the difference totally between a broker and, what do they look for?
When it comes to a broker, it's very hard to tell. I have seen brokers out there like Beacons Brokered or Beacons Moving, or they manipulate the name of United Van Lines or United Movers, or they change out the names. A lot of brokers will do that. If you see something that's a paid site on Google, when you type in movers, a lot of, you see 10 different things when you scroll down. 90% time, it's a broker. Go on their site, look up their DOT information, and look up if they have a number on their site. If they have, Budget Movers is a big one that's on Facebook everywhere, and people get the misconception they're a broker. I believe they got $17.95 for California to Florida or something like that. They're all over on Facebook, but that's clearly a broker, because $1,700 from California to Florida is it's a too good to be true deal. If the price is too good to be true, when you click on the site, it probably is. And that's something that do a little bit of homework on. If you get their name, check their home state, check the state, the legal records in the state, go on to Yelp, go on to Google, type in their name, and you know what, you'll get your information pretty quickly. Or if you call them and it sounds like it's a call center, they're foreign, they don't speak a lot of English, and they're very aggressive toward you about getting you to sign the dotted line, that's a big red flag as well.
Okay, well, that's helpful. So when someone is talking to, let's say you've picked out a couple movers, you want to talk to them, what questions do you recommend asking?
Good question. How many years have you been in business? What are your legal authority numbers? Do you have a state registration number? Do you have a DOT, motor carrier? Do you have any references? Do you have any, website? Go look at their website, look at the photos. And if by law, they have to have everything documented with the DOT motor carrier number on their site or on Facebook or wherever you look at the Facebook ads, check the reviews, because even some of the brokers, if you pull up on Facebook, people will put a review on there. They've been conned by, Budget Movers or ABC Moving or whoever it is. And a lot of people it's amazing, because there is power in numbers with people, because a lot of people that get conned by these guys go online and they, state their story online, and you'll see it, and they don't want that to happen to people. But I would do researching. Don't jump with the first mover that pops out at you. Do some research, find 3 or 4 or 5 companies, ask your realtor, ask friends that have done moves, or the easiest thing, you can do a self move yourself and find the labor, do it like that. And that's what a lot of people are doing anymore.
I'm getting a lot of research, look at the DOT, and don't pay money, with checking account up front.
Do not pay deposits. That is a big one. That's a big red flag. Right. I think I emphasized it earlier, but With me, I do not collect a deposit. I collect payment upon arrival at your destination when everything is being offloaded. Do a walkthrough. Make sure you do a walkthrough with your mover at the very end. Notate damages, notate anything that there is that's not right. Communicate. If they have an issue communicating with you, then that's a red flag as well. But I do also encourage people to put air tags or put tracking devices in so you can track the truck, because in my experience, that's been a big thing. A lot of people will do it, and I always encourage it. You know, if the mover has something to hide, then yeah.
That's a good tip. So, hey, let's say you fell for it hook, line, and sinker. You hired someone, and they get to the job. They all of a sudden want more money to do it, or worse, they pick up your stuff and won't deliver it until you pay. Hey, the price has gone up. Do you have any tips for someone at that point, or are they? I mean, are they pretty much in trouble?
They could be in trouble. That's why I always tell people put an air tag in. If you do decide to go with somebody like that, or anybody, doesn't matter who it is, put a couple air tags in your property, because that will come back to help you. A lot of people in the groups that I'm in do put in air tags. A lot of people, it does help out people. You could file a complaint with the federal government, with DOT, but getting any answers with that is going to be hard. You could call the police. That is another option. But like I said, it happens to a lot of people, and it's becoming bigger and bigger. I would try to, document things. If the guy gets there and he loads up the truck and he does that, I would have him offload it. Immediately offload it, and you still have your stuff back, but it's gonna be, once he's gone, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, well, that makes a lot of sense. So, I'm in mortgage, and I will say things have kind of started picking up this year. I think people are getting used to the interest rates, and kind of a lot of people's plan is to buy now and then maybe refinance a year from now. How's your business been? Is it picking up? What are you seeing out there right now for people moving?
It's picking up a little bit. It's still a little slow, but I know that the economy has a big deal to do with that. But this week has been decent. I've been getting a lot of calls, but our busy season typically starts in March till September, October. And if you do decide to move, another option is to do it early in the season. Typically, the prices will be less if you do it before summer, before the peak season. And that also goes with equipment. With Penske Budget U-Haul, the price of equipment will skyrocket come summer, and then the gas prices will skyrocket, and it will be a lot more expensive to move.
Well, that's a good tip. And you're based in Idaho, right? I mean, you
I'm
moved to
based
all
in
50
Boise,
states.
Idaho.
Okay.
Correct.
What I mean, and I know you're in a lot of other Facebook groups, with people moving out. I mean, is there an area of the country people are moving out of, and ones you see them moving into more right now?
There is. California is my biggest area that I service. Moving to Oregon or Washington, North Idaho, Arizona, Tennessee, Florida, that area. But a lot of people are moving out of California, and it's gotten, yeah, there's a lot of people moving out of there, but they're moving to states. I've moved a lot of people to Reno. I moved a lot of people to Oregon, to Portland, because of the cost of living, and it's much better than it would be in California.
Yeah, I'm noticing that too. A lot of people are retiring, and they're in California, and in certain areas in California, you can move to Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and the cost of living is quite a bit less, and it's able to, more able to help people retire and live comfortably. So I'm seeing that a lot of people moving from there. I also see a lot of people, in my groups, moving from Texas and Florida too, it seems like the heat, and climate, and I'm not into the politics of it, but it seems like a lot of people are just get sick of the heat after a while, and look for a more temperate, climate. And if you can put up with the rain a little bit, the gray skies, the Northwest is pretty amazing.
It is.
So, but any other things you'd like to add, or people to know about moving or movers before we let you go?
If you ever have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Even if I don't move you, I'm happy to answer questions and help you out. But there are a lot of good movers out there that will help you. And just don't click on the first guy and jump in head first for the first guy you see. Do a lot of research. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of ways to move, and there's a lot, price-wise too. There's so many different ways to go about it, but research is the big one, and make sure that you feel comfortable with whoever does a move for you. And if you have a guy come in and walk in your house and you don't feel comfortable with him, if he gives you a bad vibe, then you're probably right. Because I've seen a lot of people that have a guy that pulls in, and if he doesn't give you a business card and he's not professional, or they're not willing to do a lot for you, then you know what? That's a big red flag. That's what I would say.
Well, Josu, thank you very much. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to my YouTube channel today, Moving to the Northwest. Today we talked to Josu with All in One Moving, and he gave us some great tips on what to look for when hiring movers, as well as cut some costs and some things to do. So anyway, if you got something out of the video and want to see more, subscribe, give us a like. Also, put some links into this video for Josu and his business, the DOT. Put links for my Facebook groups, Moving to Oregon and Moving to Washington. Some great info. So join those groups and ask some questions, make contacts. Also, if you're looking to move to the Northwest and buy a home, I'm a mortgage broker. Reach out to me. Link down there for my website, and let's touch base. I can help you out. So.